reporter Anne-Katrin is travelling in true East German fashion on a scooter. She's on her way to Zarrentin and a nearby lake, Schaal Lake. The area used to lie along communist East Germany's closely guarded border. Residents needed special permission to live here, and anyone suspicious to authorities was forced to relocate. Today you can move about freely.
The border, which once divided Germany, didn't even stop at this lake. It divided it into west and east, and the border went right through the middle of it. And people who were lying here on this beach, on the eastern side, they were able to see the west over there, but of course it was unreachable.
Schaal Lake is the deepest lake in northern Germany, over 70 meters in some places. Most of the area is a wildlife refuge. Klaus Kunthoff is the only tour guide who shows visitors the region from the water. To limit pollution, he uses an electric motor. He grew up in Zarrentin and was a teacher in the former East Germany.
What was life like for you in the GDR times here on this lake?
Things were tightly controlled. We were only allowed to go fishing on the banks or go swimming in the designated area. It was clearly marked and you weren't allowed to swim past it. We couldn't use air mattresses or boats. Boats were only allowed for fishermen and border police. And the border police were on the water 24 hours a day.
Today, the lake is an important bird refuge. Every year, tens of thousands of migrating birds stop here on their way south.
No, thank you. It was my pleasure. Bye.
When Germany was divided, the border area here was off limits, so nature was left untouched. The former border zone is now known as the Green Belt. And 9 years ago, UNESCO made Schaal Lake a biosphere reserve. Park rangers show visitors the diversity of the region's wildlife.
So why do people want to protect this area here?
Large parts of the lake were located directly on the border or right behind the wall. But borders don't mean anything to animals. Birds can simply fly over borders, and here they found the tranquility they need.
But now it's back onto the scooter and off to a place that had a unique position in the former East Germany. Rüterberg. During the Cold War, the entire village was surrounded by a fence. Anyone who wanted to enter or leave had to pass a checkpoint. Meinhard Schmechel was mayor back when residents decided on November the 8th, 1989, that they didn't want to be part of communist East Germany anymore. They declared the village an independent republic and risked heavy punishment. Luckily for them, the Berlin Wall fell the very next day.
But you couldn't have known that one day later the GDR would be history, so weren't you afraid when you declared your independence?
We didn't know what would happen to us, and we spent all night talking about it. Of course we were afraid about what we were doing. But everything turned out okay. We wanted to make a statement for our town and the rest of the world.
This is part of the border fortifications. Most of the buildings disappeared after the collapse of communism. Rüterberg residents took down the fence with their own hands. Not all the remains ended up on the dump. Some resourceful homeowners took the material with them and found new uses for it. Rüterberg also found a new use for the old watchtower. Nowadays, visitors can spend the night here.
This small town of Rüterberg is quite a good example that revolutions don't always have to take place on the world stage. And to turn an old watchtower into holiday flats is also quite revolutionary, I would say.
But now it's time for Anne-Katrin to leave Rüterberg and continue her journey. Her next destination? The River Elbe.